So here's a nice video for your e-body connoisseurs. Got a nice 95,000 mile original 71 Dodge Challenger. So take a look. So my buddy Ed picked up this 1971 Dodge Challenger this past spring, which would be spring of 2019. Really super nice car. Actually was on eBay. We looked at it and I was like, dude, you gotta go check this thing out in person. So he shot out there and looked at the car and made the deal on it and bought it. It's a original paint car, 318 automatic, air conditioning, column shift, and 95,000 miles roughly. It came out of Tennessee originally, and it has been really well kept its whole life. I don't know who had it. He's got all the paperwork for this thing from day one when it was built. He's got build sheets, all the bill of sales, service records on it. It moved from Tennessee, went up to Maryland, I think, or at least Connecticut or somewhere up in the northeast, hidden from any kind of weather that we can tell. Not a speck of rust on the thing underneath. Super solid car. Original top. We drove it up to Mopar Fest this past summer. It's been really decent. It needed some stuff. Needed a couple ball joints. They were loose and pounding out. So we did that. He's been driving it around town this summer. It's been decent, but it's a 95,000 mile original car. So it's got leaks, and that's why it's here. We're going to be against all the purists, and we're going to take out the engine and transmission, clean it up, do a service on it as far as like a timing chain, water pump, what else? Gaskets. We're just going to freshen the thing up, touch up the paint, trying to preserve most everything we can preserve, but we want to definitely take care of some of the issues with some rust from like the brake fluid leaking on it over the years. But it's a really, really nice car. It's had service done on it, so it's got like a, an aftermarket water pump, and somebody changed the alternator. It's the wrong one. But somebody recorded the original radiator. So the original radiator with the numbers and everything is the right one, but it's a new core. We're going to clean that up and detail that. Nothing really going to get done with the motor or tranny other than gaskets and a freshen up on the paint, which a lot of people are giving us lip for, because once you do that, it kind of takes away some of the originality. But it's a 318 car. We're not going to, if it was a performance car, 340, 440 car, I think you'd want to keep more of it intact, but
right.
It's a 318 car. No one's going to lose their mind over it.
Right. And he wants to keep it, I mean, this is going to be
a driver car.
A real driver.
It's a driver car. The thing's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's got scratches on it. It's got some dings and dents here and there, but it's got its original black pinstripes on the top, which you don't ever really see. Mostly, what I was told is these are only on 318 cars to mimic like that RT stripe, but that factory pinstripe is kind of a oddball. Interior's really nice. The dash pad's original. It's got a couple little cracks in it. We did take out the seats to get reskinned. We're in the process of doing that. We changed the rug because it was pretty shot. A lot of it was kind of just worn out on the footwells. The back seat upholstery, these are the original seat upholsteries. We had a new headliner put in it because it was tattered and falling apart. So that's been replaced. We're looking for, he's got, I think, one door panel or maybe a pair now, because somebody back in the day put speakers in the doors, and they cut super nice door panels and put those crappy little speakers in it. So we're looking for beautiful black original panels to put in this car and take those out. So show you the trunk. Spare tires out of it and stuff. The trunk mat we're cleaning up some of this stuff. We want to try and we're going to figure out what we're going to do with trying to preserve, the metal, because it's some of it's bare from when we cleaned it. We don't really want to do anything to quote unquote restore it. We might just throw a coat. We might try to blend in some red paint, especially over the rusty areas, because we want to definitely preserve this, but we don't want to get any worse. And he wants it to look nice. So
This is a clean
It's so
trunk,
clean.
though. I mean, holy
it's
moly.
so clean. Like I said, there's not a speck of rust on this car anywhere. We think it was in a little bit of a rear end, either somebody backed this thing into something and bent the bumper or the valance, because the valance is actually like a 73 or 4 with a bracket on it. So we're going to probably take that and change that back to the 71. But, the original vinyl top's still on it in really super nice shape. It's got some wrinkles on the seam, but I mean, for a driver, this is super presentable.
Yeah, now, I mean, on my 300 that you've seen on the channel, we did redid the vinyl top on my car, and I mean, mine has 42,000, almost 43,000 miles on it, and that top was completely spanked, but
Right.
it did spend a good chunk of its life
This
up in
thing's
the
been
Northeast.
this thing's been in a garage, driven only on nice days. This car has not seen any weather, and I'll be damned if this thing's been really wet at any point in its life. I just can't see it. It's too nice. There's just too much on it that's too nice. It's been high and dry. I don't know what else to say about it. It's really just a super nice car. Those rally wheels are on it are not original. It would have had hubcaps. I think he's got the original set of hubcaps that came with it. But we got a huge response to it when we took it up to Mopar Fest from a lot of e-body guys that like original cars, because they were looking at it for just details like certain little things you don't see anymore, because so many cars have been restored. It's hard to find originals that are unmolested. You probably saw the flip-top gas cap. Somebody put that on in its life. I think the previous owner put that on. We're looking. I think he's got, possibly has an original gas cap to go back on it. We're going to take this thing off and probably get the regular big one put back on it. I'm not sure if it was originally a chrome cap or if it was a painted cap to match the car, but I think we're going to get rid of that flip gas cap. Another thing is those mud flaps. It's a love it, hate it with them.
Yeah.
I think we're keeping them because
So I mean,
it adds that grandpa-ness to it.
yeah, when I first, I'll get a back shot of it. So when I first seen this car, one of my first things was, man, this is really clean. What's with the mud flaps? And I don't know if I don't know if it's my taste, but I don't know. It kind of makes sense on this car. And I mean, if that's how this car came, these are like,
They're period correct.
if
I mean,
it's
they're
period
old.
correct, right?
I don't know if they were on originally, like, if it left the dealer with it. I doubt it. You know what I mean? They could have, but they look more like crap from the 80s.
Yeah. But those will probably stay on. Like Joe said, love it or hate it. But overall, yeah, super clean car. Just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what this was and what it's all about. And, it's in the garage.
We'll probably do maybe another 2 videos of this thing, because we're going to rip this thing apart.
Yeah,
and
maybe
we'll
one or
probably
two
do a
videos. Yeah.
quick little video of that apart, and then once it's back together and
Right.
and done, just to
Right.
see the difference. But I mean, that engine bay, if you look at it now, it's so presentable. But there's a lot of little details that people aren't going to really catch, like once it's done, is like the stupid battery cable. It's just a universal end. We're going to get rid of that and probably put an OEM or try and find an original, which are really difficult to do. This overflow tank, we're probably going to ditch that, get that out of there. It looks stupid hanging in there. Clean up, just degrease and wash and kind of clean up some of the stuff on the firewall. The master cylinder, unfortunately, it's got to go. It works, but it does fade a little bit because I drove this thing to Canada. We're going to put a new master cylinder on it.
Yeah. And Ed's pretty particular about his cars, so I mean, he wants this thing done right. So that's what Joe's going to do.
Yeah, we're going to detail the alternator, get an original one, probably a day-coded 71 alternator, because I don't even know what this is. Somebody put that in and replaced it. That's not an original style. Some of the hoses are still original, like the heater hoses. Most of them are intact and original. The transmission cooler lines have been cut and spliced for some reason. I don't know if in services, maybe it was flushed at one time, so we're going to put a new set of tranny cooler lines in it. Just gaskets, probably trying to more period correct water pump and clean it, paint it. Period correct belts we're going to probably put on it. What else? That's pretty much it. Just other than a cleaning, and like I said, we're gonna touch up some of the red where it's super rusty, and we wanna get rid of that nasty look. The bottom of the hood, I mean, look at this, the bottom of the hood, it's ridiculous. It's super clean. Most of the time they're all rusted out, like here from the battery acid, but this thing is super nice.
Super clean car. So yeah, that's the starting point with it. Thought a lot of you guys would really be interested, so stick around. We'll at least get a video of it, you know, once it's been gone through, maybe a little in-process stuff. So, all right, hope you liked it. See you guys later.